Hello everyone and happy holidays, Merry Christmas, because I'm pretty sure today is Christmas when I'm putting this video out. Believe it or not, I did not expect to do a video this week. I thought I was just going to do the Christmas train for you guys and be done. This week, however, I think we have something everyone's looking forward to see. We're talking about characters, not just minifigures. Actually, we don't talk about any minifigure specific characters, though I will be featuring some well-known human characters in the mock. I've decided, or this week I want to talk about the engines I'm using, engines I could be using, and then the rolling stock I'm using. So we'll talk engines and rolling stock. So without further ado, let's just hop right in. So, as I said in the intro, this week we're going to start focusing on the engines and the rolling stock. This is something I was kind of hoping I could just wait till the last 2 weeks to do, and then it kind of hit me that while I'm waiting for some parts to come in to work on the detail of the mock, kind of more of the areas outside the yard and some other details that I haven't talked about yet, and I want to wait to that video. I thought I'd go ahead and start on the engines. Some of them are getting minor upgrades, and then we also want to talk about who is going to be in this mock, where you kind of see a lot of the figures are already placed just because I need to see how much space was on the platform, and when I put in that footbridge, where it was going to go and stuff like that. So a lot of the minifigures are placed. I still got a couple more to place, as well as put in the coaches, which is probably something we'll also do in this episode, or this video segment. But a big thing is here, Gordon's a prime example of a modification that needs to be made, as well as Henry's tender. So I got the two tenders over here and Gordon's body over here. I ordered in some of these red kind of, I'm going to call them like inverted profile, or not profile, inverted modified plates. I used them in dark gray or dark stone gray over a year ago, probably 2 years ago now, whenever I started doing these engines. I found them on my pick-a-brick wall, and I bought a whole small cup just because I found them in bulk, and at least they'll all be the same. You know, all of them are gonna have these dark bluish gray bricks or plates, as I said, attaching the buffers on the front and the back, or the front and the tender. Well, I ordered a whole bunch of them in red finally. I kind of thought this would be the time to do it, so I have about 60 of these, maybe even more, maybe 90 of these. I ordered them so I can in multiples of 3 because that's how I use them. I'm going to go ahead and replace Gordon's and Henry's tender and Gordon's tender because they feature those. I'm also on Gordon going to switch out the buffers. So this is going to be one of those changes. As I've always said in all the videos, I want to go ahead and slowly start changing or making some modifications to the engines, and this is one of them. I don't know why I put the lid back on this because I need a whole bunch of these plates. I also want to apologize for the shadow because I'm actually filming at the desk on the opposite side of the room, and there's a light not right above me, but probably about half a foot up and to my right. So it just casts this awful shadow in the spot, and I haven't gone ahead and picked up any lamps yet because I'm actually redoing my shelves a little bit. So I got all these out here. I'm going to go ahead and swap these around. Now this is probably actually the first time I think I build any part of a locomotive character rolling stock on screen. I could be wrong, but from what I remember, this is a first. So I'm going to go ahead and just switch out all of these. And while I'm doing this, I'll go ahead and talk about kind of my next point is the characters we're going to see. I've already determined I'm going to be using Gordon, Henry, and Edward. Edward, obviously, because it's Wellsworth. Gordon, because I'm going to do the Wild Northwestern or the Sodor Express. And then, I don't want to do that yet. I put one of these on already. Oh, wait, no. Yeah. Oh, this must have came off as one section. Gordon, because I want to have the Express in there, and then I kind of figured since we're already doing engines 2 and 4, which are 2 of the original 3 Audrey engines, I'd go ahead and add Henry. Now obviously Gordon's going to be pulling the Express, and I think I'm going to put Edward in that siding like you saw him a few videos back. Why would I be putting Edward in the siding? Is so we can have other engines. I think Edward is the most logical to put in the siding, so it makes sense to have him there. Now, what does that mean for my other options? I have a third rail and I have a yard, or at least a yard lead, we'll say. I think I know who I'm going to put in the yard, but I want to hear your opinions. I do want to try to get a diesel in the build. Right now, I'll be honest, I'm leaning towards Phillip. I know he's not really a fan favorite, but I think it would be accurate to the television show right now, or in recent times, where Phillip is apparently at Wellsworth, which I guess makes no real sense, because apparently he works at Knapford. So why would he, I mean, Wellsworth is relatively close to Knapford, but you know what I mean. It doesn't really make any sense. It's kind of weird. So, let me go ahead. Now, these changes I actually already made to Edward. I'm actually using Edward as my holiday or my Christmas train, which you might see the same day as this, 'cause I'm going to try to get this out too on Friday. So you might have 2 uploads on Friday, because I think Christmas is on a Friday, which I do celebrate Christmas. So I've gone ahead and I switched out those buffers. As we know, Gordon's got those kind of oval, I'm going to call them like oval buffers. Sometimes they're depicted as a rectangle, kind of squarish. I've gone ahead and made them this oval look, a little bit more accurate to the television series, which is what I grew up with. And there we go. So Gordon's actually done. His modifications are all done. Later on, I'm actually debating whether or not I want to go to 8-wide engines. I know it's kind of silly since I built them all in 6-wide, but it's just an idea. And I don't know, because Gordon and Henry could look a lot better, and Toby, if I went up to that 8-wide, but I don't think any other engine's really going to benefit from, or I guess any of the larger engines. Mixed traffic and most of the tank engines aren't going to benefit from a change like that. But if I change Gordon and Henry, I want to change everybody. So that's an option. But getting kind of back to my original question, sorry because I got sidetracked with that, is what characters do you want to see? We're going to have Edward, Gordon, and Henry for sure. Those characters are going to be in the build for sure. So really I have the third rail line, which it could be a freight train, it could be a passenger train. Let me know that down in the comments below. If not, I kind of have an idea of what I want to do. So if no one leaves a comment, I already have stuff planned, but if you all leave a comment, I definitely want to try to accommodate those ideas. I'll actually show you here in just a moment when we get done with this, which actually we're done with. So here's Henry's quick modifications. The red, though, it looks a little odd out from the green. It looks a lot better from the gray, just because it looks like one solid buffer beam component. So there we are. Those modifications are made. I'm actually going to go ahead and cut the video, and we'll look at everyone that's on the shelf besides Gordon, because I'm going to leave him here on the desk. I might work on some other modifications with them. Okay, so we're looking at my shelf, or shelves of characters, and I kind of already know that I want to use, like I said, Gordon, Edward, Henry. Now, this leaves the third main line open, and as well as the yard. Like I said, I'm leaning towards Phillip, but if people are really against Phillip, maybe I'll use Percy or Thomas or Toby or Duck. But right now, that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. The other option or questions I had for you is, should I be using a custom character? Like I have Lennox down here, I have my Donovan the Diesel character, Rustin, and then I also have the characters I just recently shared, Gilbert, and over there actually, because he's big, really big, Peter's up and over there still with everybody else. So let me know who you think I should go ahead and throw in this mock alongside the original 3 railway engines. For sure, we're also going to have Birdie in there, as you saw. He's been chilling back there for most of this series. So I do want you all to comment below if you really have an opinion. If no one really has anything, I'm going to stick with in-universe, in the Thomas and Friends universe, Railway Series universe, and pick characters we know. The reason why I'm not leaning towards Thomas right now is I don't have an Annie and Clarabelle built, and I don't want to hold this whole build waiting for parts for Annie and Clarabelle. So that's kind of my reason for not using him. Otherwise, I was going to do Thomas. Probably just go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and use those. But due to not having Annie and Clarabelle, I am holding off on that as well. So let me know what you think. Also, with Henry, since we are going to be using Henry, should Henry be pulling a random goods train, or should I maybe make him be pulling the flying Kipper? I got a whole bunch of crates with fish in them I've been kind of gathering up, just in case I wanted to do a flying Kipper train. So I could be using those. I got a whole bunch of different colored fish. So let me know also in the comments what kind of freight train you think Henry, or goods train, wherever you're from, you think Henry should be pulling. Otherwise, let's go ahead. I actually don't know what's next for this week, so let's go ahead and see what I do next. Alright, so I found out what we're doing next. I'm going to go ahead and kind of add some figures to my express coaches. Now, as I said earlier, we're for sure doing the Soto Express or the Wild Northwestern, however you know it, featuring just the 3 green or dark green express coaches. Now, if we have another passenger train, I have the choice between branch line coaches or the red express coaches, so that's another option for you all to choose from. If people want passenger, I think I know what I'm going to do already, but again, I want to try to leave that up to you, give you all a chance, anyone who's really interested in following the series, a chance to get an opinion for this build. But we're going to go ahead, I'm going to add in some characters, a few, sorry, that was my alarm on my phone, I don't know if you heard it. I got some fun kind of cameo characters I want to put in here. You might see 1 or 2 of them here now. I might wait and add them in later, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of start filling these coaches. I will make a review for these probably after Wellsworth, and I'll probably have 1 green and 1 red express coach in there, just because structurally they're the same. Interior's a little different because I went with a darker color on the dark green and a lighter interior on the other, and really all the interior consists of is a different, trying to think of the word, just a different seat combination. Now, I designed these to where each section of seating would have its own door. Now, because these are very basic designs, a lot of my engines aren't extremely detailed, I went with the very basic look for these coaches, featuring no doors, which I'm pretty sure is what the latest Hogwarts Express does. Now, a quick kind of look inside here. I'm actually missing some parts to finish off the inside. You can kind of see I did the brown interior. And it's just going to be pretty simple. Just going to add in some characters. Actually, I can... And I don't attach the seats. I actually have them so I can pull them right out. See, I still got some more modifying to do. Just because I was trying to come up with a seat design. And it was kind of sitting there thinking. What do I have enough parts for? What can I put together? So, there we go. We got some characters that'll be facing each other, some characters that'll be facing away from each other. It's just kind of how I try to fit in. I figured if I could get, I think I have a total of 6 seats. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So each coach consists of 6 seats per coach. I guess it's pretty simple to say. So 3 on each side. Ooh, I don't know. Cool. The way I designed these seats, I don't know some characters are going to fit or not. Let's see. Trying to think how I want to do this. I think I'll put them in a different car. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and drop these in there. So yeah, first time I think for this series you actually get to see me build live, or as I'm making decisions, and that's because just some cameo character options I wanted to figure out to do. So this is one. You'll be able to see them kind of through the window a little bit. There's not good lighting over here, as I kind of said earlier. You'll be able to see those. I'll go ahead. Open up another one. Now the orders of these aren't determined yet. Obviously they can go in any order. I didn't design a brake coach, though I should have, especially because my branch line coaches have that design in them. Let's see. I'll go here. This guy, he's got some, looks like a fancy or precious item. Put him on here. Slide him down there. And in honor of the late Sean Connery, I went ahead and I added Dr. Jones Sr. He's going to be riding the Sodor Express for this mock. And so I have a completely empty coach right now, as well as a half empty coach and a 1/3 empty coach, I think. Yeah. So I just thought I'd go ahead and kind of show you the roofs pop off pretty easily. I designed them to pop off a certain way, but you'll kind of see how some of the corner parts popped off on their own. And sometimes this middle doesn't always want to connect. But there's a very quick, not really, that's like a 5-minute portion. But whenever I'm doing this stuff, in person, anyone who's building Lego in person, in your head I think, oh, it doesn't take a while. But if you're talking on camera and stuff like that, it does end up taking a little bit more time than you think, especially making sure you can view everything. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll probably show you my freight cars, what a couple of their loads, or generally what the loads look like. I know what the freight cars in the yard are going to be, so I'll show you those. And that'll give you a general idea on how I do all my freight cars, at least that style of freight car. So I'll go ahead, switch out our coaches for some freight cars. All right, so here we have, these are going to be like the red freight cars you see a lot. They kind of, for a short period of time, they replaced all the troublesome trucks, like the gray ones, with these red trucks with no faces. And I went back and forth between light red, or the brighter Lego red, and this new dark red color. And because of the way I did the regular troublesome trucks, the way I did Toad, featuring the wooden slats, because I think that's what they're called, like wooden slat wagons, wooden plank wagons, I went ahead, used the dark. I apologize. House is heating up or something and causing some of the vents to creak as it expands, so I apologize for that. But I went ahead, used that dark red, and let's see if I can't. Probably not. No, I'm going to have to take off a wall. Nice way I designed these is in a single section, only plates holding everything together, so I can just strip a wall out pretty easily, and then I can take this out. As you can see, it's nothing really too exciting. Again, I really apologize for that noise. I didn't realize I was going to start up, but it's a little later at night. The house is a little cold, so I guess I can't be too surprised. If you notice how I do my tenders are already done the same way. I'll use a black plate, and then I'll stack some black studs, and then in the middle here I actually use some plates and then some studs, just so I'm not using an extra 20 studs to do something. I can just fill in with plates. And really, when I have a wall on, I can put it back on real fast. They're really easy. They just slide right in. You can see. Obviously, depending on the height of your freight car, depends on that. And then you can put crates on this thing, or crates on this plate, or other things on this plate. If I go ahead and go with the Flying Kipper choice, you'll notice how I have the crates sitting in there. I didn't just, initially I was going to be extremely literal and put, okay, I'm going to put some crates inside, whether they're full or not, I don't know, and then put the full crates up top so you can kind of see what the load is. And then I realized that's just a waste of time, or not time, kind of quality parts, so I went ahead and designed this kind of little interior. So it's roughly the same. Sometimes I use bricks, sometimes I use plates, so I can get that right level I'm looking for. The way I design it is so the second level from the top is the middle and is the same level as the truck, and then you got that middle spot that just goes one plate higher just to give it that full look. These will be seen in the yard, being pushed by whatever the shunter is. Like I said, I'm leaning towards Philip, but if you all think it should be Percy or Thomas or Toby or Duck, let me know. And please remember too, I had all those engines. I tried to show you what characters you'd like to see featured on the third main line of this build. So without further ado, we're actually going to go ahead and end it off here. I thought this was going to be a quick video, but based on watching, or as I record and check my timestamps, looks like this might be a little bit longer of a video. So let's go ahead and end it out. And that was, I believe, week 13. I don't even think I started off the video with the week number, because I honestly couldn't remember for a minute. But, so, engines. That's what we talked about this week. Sorry, it's a little later at night and I'm recording the last bit of this. For sure, Edward, Gordon, Henry, no questions asked. Those three are going to be in the mock. But who do you want to see? I got that third line available and this shunting yard track available. Like I said, for the shunting yard, I'm leaning towards Phillip just because I think it'd be nice to have a CGI character or a CGI only character featured in the build. And I think Phillip is actually one of my better builds. But again, let me know what you think. Do we want to see a passenger or a freight train on that third track? If so, what do we want to see in the freight train? Since I'm using Henry, do we want to have Henry pulling a fish train, the flying Kipper, or do we want to have him pulling a random train? Please comment below and really let me know what you think I should be doing for this, because this kind of comes to the part where you can say stuff. You know, well, building Wellsworth, a lot of it's I got to replicate it this way because there's a footbridge, there's a signal box, this is what the buildings look like, this, that, the other thing, you know. The yard was a little bit more flexible, and kind of this area is over here is a little flexible, but I did actually find some cool behind-the-scenes images thanks to it. I feel bad because I forgot the YouTube channel, but they released behind-the-scenes footage from the model era Thomas and Friends, and I was able to find some helpful information. So please, please, I know a lot of times I think the last few episodes I've asked you to comment down below if I have questions. No one has, and that is fine. I go ahead, I have a plan already. I think I know what I want to do. But I always try to include my followers whenever I can. So I want to thank you all for watching. If you don't follow me on Instagram, go ahead, look for me over there. I post a lot more Star Wars stuff on there than here for several reasons. But yeah, otherwise, please comment down below. Consider liking the video if you enjoyed it. Dislike it if you really didn't like the video. And consider subscribing. It would mean a lot, so you can see more Thomas the Tank Engine builds, as well as Star Wars builds that I really do plan for this year going into 2021. Otherwise, everyone, I will see you in my next video.